Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Abdul Rahim. I'm making a series why we need to read Surah Kahf every Friday. It's in the Hadith that we should read Surah Kahf every Friday to be saved from the trials and tribulations of Dajjal. Dajjal is a character that every Nabi since Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam has warned about to his people, till Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So all these prophets, they have been trying to warn us about that. Dajjal is going to come, and there's going to be so many problems that we are going to face. I have studied a lot of characters in the past histories, and a lot of them I have seen that in most of the times of the different prophets, alayhi salam, there has been a character. Sometimes there's a reptilian character, sometimes there is different mythological gods like Ra and Thos and different. So I've been trying to make a series on Surah Kahf. In every episode I try to make it on 10 ayats of Surah Kahf, that why we need to read Surah Kahf and how can it try to help us and be safeguarded from Dajjal. So I'll start inshallah the eighth one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa ammal jidaro. So we were on the topic of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, and we were discussing about how he was told to meet a person, and most of the scholars have said that this person was Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam. Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam was given special powers from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's known as Ilm-e-Ludni. It's completely different. It's it's nothing which we a normal person can understand and can control those powers and have those powers, because this is a special blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for these people who get these powers. It's known as Ilm-e-Ludni. Ludni means from, so it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hazrat Sulaiman was traveling with Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam, and Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam, being what I have a theory that he probably had the ilm from Ilm-e-Ludni about different dimensions, and one of those dimensions he could see the future and probably change the future also. So if you're in the fifth dimension, you can see the future, and if you're in the sixth dimension, you can actually try to change the dimensions, the timelines, like we see in different movies nowadays, the Marvel movies and stuff. So Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam has been telling Hazrat Musa that you will not have the power or the strength to be patient with me. So Hazrat Musa alayhi salam probably was acting like a normal person, because all the things that happened were different from being a normal stuff, And Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam was probably seeing the future in his fifth dimension or sixth dimension, and he was telling Hazrat Musa that you will not be able to have the strength to have the patience with me. So they went and they met a young person. First they went onto a ship, and Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam just broke the ship, made a hole or something in it, so that there was a tyrant king who was taking all the ships of the people who were not very well off. So Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam made a hole in it so that the king will not take away their ship, their small boat probably. And then there was a young boy that Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam killed, and Hazrat Musa was not happy about it. Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam went to and Hazrat Musa went to a village or a town, and they were asking for some food, but nobody was giving them the food. And Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam found a wall, and the wall was about to fall, so he just reinforced the wall. So Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was objecting on all of these things, and he said that why didn't you take some money to just repair the wall? And now Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam is trying to explain that we cannot be together because you don't have the strength to be patient to be with me. So he said that the boy, first the ship, the hole was made because the tyrant king will take away their boat or and they will not be able to do the fishing for a living. The boy that Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam killed was actually going to be a tyrant in the future. So Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam could see the future for that boy also, and he could see the future for Hazrat Musa alayhi salam also. that he will not be able to be patient, he will not have the strength to be patient. And the wall, he did not get take any money on it, but he fixed it because there was a treasure in beneath. So that's the point that we are here. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa ammal jidaru faqana li ghulamaini yatimaini fil madinati. And that wall was of two young boys who were orphans in the fil madinati, in the city. Wa kana tahtahu kanzul lahuma, and underneath that wall there was a treasure for them. Wa kana abuhuma salihan, and his father was a pious person. So Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam wanted to repair or reinforce the walls so that that it doesn't fall and people don't take away that treasure which belonged to the young boys. فَأَرَدْنَا رَبُّكَ أَنْ يَبْلُغَ أَشَدَّهُمَا وَيَسْتَخْرِجَ كَنْزَهُمَا. So your Lord wanted that they reach their a certain age, they become so grown up that they can take their treasure themselves, and use it themselves. If they were young boys, people would have taken their treasure from them. Rahmatam min Rabbi, this is a rahma, this is a blessing from your Rabb. وَمَا فَعَلْتُ وَلَا أَمْرِي, and I didn't do anything. Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam is saying that I didn't do anything according to my own wishes. He was doing everything what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the ilm of, the knowledge of. ذَلِكَ تَعْوِيلُ مَا لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ عَلَيْهِ صَبْرًا. So that's the reason why didn't you had the strength to be patient, because Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam had that knowledge, had that ilm al-ludni, which Hazrat Musa alayhi salam did not at that time. Probably in the future he did. So that concludes our whole topic of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam in Surah Kahf. What I can understand that Dajjal will have also the knowledge of the fifth and sixth dimensions, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know, Wallahu alam. But he will be able to tell people the future, probably. And that's why anybody can say that if Khizr alayhi salam can tell the future, then probably you can too. That's not a very big deal, وَيَسَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ. And now we start the topic of Hazrat Zulkarnain. Zulkarnain was in scholars have said, and what I've studied, that he was a king. He was not a Nabi, and he was given special powers, like Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam was given special powers by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Zulkarnain also had very, very special powers, and he had powers to travel in space. That's what I have studied, that he could go to different planets, different dimensions, different areas. So very simple. If you're talking about Yajuj and Majuj, and we have been listening to this and we have been studying about it, and it was there 1400 years ago when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned Yajuj and Majuj, that Zulkarnain built a wall, which is also being explained here, so that Yajuj Majuj cannot come here. And Yajuj Majuj are in huge numbers. They will be like in millions and billions. Wallahu alam. So when that wall breaks, they will come here. This is a time of science and technology, every single place is been mapped and checked from satellites. There is no place where millions and billions of people can be there. So they are, from my point of view, Yajuj and Majuj are not in this planet and not in this dimension. They are probably somewhere else. Hazrat Zulkarnain had the power from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to travel to different planets or different dimensions, and he has been traveling. So let's go. This is one of the most interesting topics in Surah Kahf. Kul sa'atlu alaykum minhu zikra. When the Jews came and they were discussing about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that whether he is a prophet or not, the kuffar in Makkah at that time, they went to the Jews of Medina and they said that we have never dealt with a prophet, but you guys have, you're Bani Israel, you have been dealing with a lot of prophets and Nabi and Rasul. So just let us know what will be the signs to tell that whether Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is actually a prophet, a Nabi, a Rasul. And they talked about three things. They said, ask him about the people of the cave, which is Surah Kahf, the people of the cave. they asked about Zulkarnain, and they asked about Ruh, spirit. So Zulkarnain is one of the questions that the people, the Jewish people of Medina were asking, and Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam answered this through Allah Subhanahu wa Taala gave him the knowledge of Surah Kahf, and about the Ruh, it's in different surah. And so these were the major two questions that they asked. They asked because I think so Dajjal will have the same powers. He will be going through dimensions like Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam. He will be knowing the future. He probably will be able to manipulate the past, present, future, because his Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that his one day will be, he will be here for 40 days. His one day will be like a month. One day will be like a month. One day will be like a year. One day will be like a month. And one day will be like a week. And 37 days will be regular 37 days. So what I can understand, and I think so my study says, Wallahu Alam, that Dajjal will also be able to control and manipulate time, like Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam had the power. And he will be able to travel in multi-dimensions and in multi-planets. So Hazrat Zulkarnain is going to travel according to what I understood here. Qul sa'atlu alaykum minhu zikra. So let me explain or read upon you about Hazrat Zulkarnain. Pretty soon I'm going to tell you about Hazrat Zulkarnain, or I'm going to read on you about Zulkarnain. Inna makanna lahu fil ardi wa atainahu min kulli shay'in sababa. Definitely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him a place to live, or on earth. So it's a very interesting concept. Whatever I have studied, wherever there is earth, it can be any planetary place. It doesn't have to be earth. But when it says dunya, this is our earth. So he was given a place to be on different planets, probably, He probably was on earth and he started from him, but he was given places to be on different planets. وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ sababa. And we had given him sababa is very interesting, because sababa, according to what I have studied, is the ways to the heavens, to the different planets, to different stars. And so وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ sababa. Allah Ta'ala subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him ways to everything. So he could travel wherever he wanted. There are billions and trillions of planets. What we know about, they can be much, much, much more. What we know, there are billions and trillions of planets. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him ways to everything. Wow, that's a super, super strong power. فَأَدْبَأَ sababa. So he went to those ways. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ مَغْرِبَ الشَّمْسِ وَجَدَهَا تَغْرُبُ فِي عَيْنٍ حَامِيَةٍ وَوَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا قَوْمًا. Until he went to a place, he reached a place where the sun is setting, and near that he found where the sun goes in, goes down. And in Hamia is basically very warm liquid. So I have a theory that between all these different heavens, different skies, there is a liquid matter, which is usually known as dark matter. So and if you see Ain al-Hamia is very close to black hole. So black hole is where the sun goes to die. So he reached a place where there's a black hole close by, and that sun is going in that black hole, is about to go in that black hole. And he found, so he was not on this planet, he was in a different planet whose sun is going to go in the black hole, and he found some people over there. قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبَ وَإِمَّا أَن تَتَّخِذَ فِيهَا حُسْنًا. So they said to Zulkarnain, if you want to give them punishment, and if you want to be kind with them, be kind. So I don't have much explanation on this one, what this Qawm was, but Hazrat Zulkarnain had powers over there too. He had authority over there too, whether he could give them azab, or he could give them be merciful on them. Qala amma man zalma fasawfa. So whoever, he said, so whoever is transgressing, is probably not accepting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Rabb and as the only Rabb. فَسَوْفَ نُعَذِّبُهُ. So definitely I'm going to very soon give them an azab, I'm going to give them a punishment. ثُمَّ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ. Then they will be returned back to their Rabb. فَيُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا نُكْرًا. And he will give them very unpleasant punishment, So they were probably not people of belief, and they were somewhere else on a different planet near the black hole. Wow. وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلَهُ جَزَاءً الْحُسْنَى. And whoever has iman, look here it's saying, and does good deeds, for him there is the blessings of God, he will have good, he will have so many blessings of God. He will have so many good things from God. وَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. And definitely so this is probably Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that in their we are going to do a judgment of them which is going to be easier for them, So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is probably going to be easier on people who have iman. ثُمَّ أَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. Then he again followed the ways of the heavens. حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. And then he went to a place where the sun goes up, and he found a qawm. He found some people who had no on the planet Earth, we have 7 layers of protection from the sun, So they had no protection. So we have an ozone layer and we have about 7 layers. What I've studied about Mars, that there was some incidents on Mars and they lost their atmosphere, The atmosphere is the 7 layers that we have on our planet, and that saves us from the sun rays and other things. So where he went, that planet or that place, probably a planet because it had people on it, had no protection, had no atmosphere. I've heard that the same thing happened with Mars, The planet Mars has no atmosphere, but before in the past it did, كَذَلِكَ وَقَدْ أَحَطْنَا بِمَا لَدَيْهِ خُبْرًا ثُمَّ أَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. And definitely, and soon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cover from himself about this khabar, he will have sort of give us the khabar about this, But very interesting, because this is about 3 different people that Hazrat Zulkarnain is meeting, and one of them is an unbeliever near a sun which is going to set into a black hole. The other one has no atmosphere. Wow, he had amazing travels. Summa adba'a sababa. So he again went to a different place, in the heavens. Hatta iza balagha baina saddaina wajadaha min dunihima qawman la yakaduna yafqahuna qala. So he went to a place between 2 different barriers, and he found a qawm. He found some people who he could not understand their language, and they could not understand his language, So inshallah, this concludes our video of Surah Kahf. I extended it a little more than 10 lines, but it was a very interesting topic. Inshallah, we will cover more about Hazrat Zulkarnain and Surah Kahf in the next video. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Please like this video and give me your comments. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.